You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. The following podcast contains some slapping tunes and words like and we watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello everybody and welcome back to We Watched a Thing, the aptly named show where every week we watch a thing. Isn't that right, Dave?
Sure, every week without fail we watch a thing and do nothing but that.
Except for this week, because we didn't watch anything this week. We're back in music land for something fun.
Yep.
I've really been enjoying the music stuff. We've been doing it for about 5 months now over on the Patreon, talking music every week, and it's been fun bringing this to the regular show.
Yeah, we watch things with our ears.
We do. We experienced a thing. But this is going to be a really fun one because
this is a we watched a thing as a show for synesthetes. What is it? Synesthetes out there who watch things with their ears.
This is going to be a really fun one because we didn't really have an idea for this week. We knew there were no movies coming out. And I can't remember if it was one of the suggestions I threw out or if you did, but we landed on one-hit wonders.
Yep.
And I feel like it was only about maybe a day or two later that you messaged me going, oh, fuck, we really should have gone a decade or something.
Yep.
This
killed me. This near fucking killed me.
So the fun of this, it's not, we will be competing and we'll put up a vote for listeners on the new Facebook listener community afterwards.
Hashtag vote, Dave.
But here's the catch. We have decided that on this show, it's not just a straightforward top 10. There are no crossovers allowed. So at the same time as we're counting from worst to best, we're also trying to compete with each other to get those top picks. So
yeah. So when Billy picks my number one as his number 9 and I scream down the microphone.
Yeah. Which I very well might do. I might actually pick my number one first just to make sure I get it.
I will call you names.
All right, so I know before we get into it and before we let the random name picker decide which of us does go first, I know that you had a very hard time with this. You sent me a screenshot of your Spotify playlist that was over 6 hours long.
It was then. When I put this up for the vote, obviously it'll go up in the Facebook listener community, hashtag join now. I will put this up and I'll put a link to the Spotify playlist that we'll make of our top 20.
Yeah.
I will also, just for funsies, put up a link to my Spotify playlist, which is 7 hours and 12 minutes long.
7 hours in the end? Oh, my God.
There are, as of earlier today, thanks to my old mate, Dev Larkin, who put like 5 billion things up in the Facebook.
He did. Yeah, I saw like 5 or 6 comments.
Yeah. So, so my playlist then jumped up to 111 tracks.
Wow. Okay.
So I had to narrow that down to 10, which, let me tell you, I was doing that up to about 10 minutes ago. And right. I'm not happy with it.
You can never truly be happy with it. All right.
Well, I've killed, 101 of my darlings to make this 10 list of 10.
All right. Well, let's hand over to AI and let the machines decide which of us is going to go first. Are you ready for me to hit the button here, Dave?
Oh, yep.
Right,
bring in the creator.
Here we go. It is me. It's Billy. All right. Well, I'm not going to start with my number one then, but I am going to start with one that I did worry that we would have crossover.
Are you shuffling to try and keep your fucking favourites?
I don't have
going 10 to 1.
I don't have mine in order. I have my list of 30, and I know kind of the ones that I want to make sure I get, but I don't have them numbered or anything at this stage.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna start from 1 then.
So in theory, this song would be higher. I love this song, and here's the other thing I want to say up front.
I'll put you go, and then I'm going to give some of the caveats.
Yeah, because we might be about to say the same thing, because defining what is a one-hit wonder is very, very hard, especially when, like you or I, you listen to a lot of music, and some of these bands, like I know and love their full albums and full discography. So the way I approached it was, do I think that less than 40% of the general population would be able to name another one of this band's songs? And in my head, I went, if the answer is no, like the general population wouldn't know more than this one song, then I think it counts as a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, unless it's a novelty track, every single artist out there has more than one song.
Oh, 100%.
And there are people who will know those other songs.
Yes.
So you've got to kind of, how much of a fanboy do you need to be to have heard the, and that obviously played into mine as well. I had a number because I had a bigger task. I had to go from 111 down to 10. So I had to be fairly fucking rigorous with my criteria. So I've left out anything that is a sort of a theme song. So like TV theme songs where the artist is nobody, but I've left out any covers.
Yep,
where
same
someone's done a cover of, Gary Jules. I have left out ones where there's an art, and there were a few of these where an artist has had a fucking monster hit that's gone global out of the blue. Off the strength of that, there is always a second single that charts just because the band is the flavor du jour. I've left those out.
Okay.
Simply because the second hit, just by default, is a big hit and everyone knows it, just even if it's shit, just because it's off the back of that one big hit. And I mean, I needed to cull shit. So I've cut those out. Okay. So I think there'll be probably some that you've got, which I would have had, but because I just couldn't think of a way to get down to 10, I was starting to get very fascist with my rules.
All right. Well, let's get into it then. Here is my number 10, which
I should say, I've left out 5 songs that would have been in my 10 because I know for a fact they're in your 10.
Well, this might be one of them. This might be one of them. So maybe I didn't need to worry about picking this first. And the reason that this goes at number 10 as well, I love and adore this band, and long-time listeners of the show who know my style of music will be able to guess right now that I am talking about New Jersey indie pop bangers Fountains of Wayne, who I absolutely love. And here's the thing about this hit is that it's not even the best song on this album. The album Welcome Interstate Managers, which I'm actually going to give you on our sideshow Hunt for the Perfect Album at some point, has some absolutely wonderful tracks on it. You brought up novelty songs before, and there's, that's pretty much what this is, and kind of the reason that it charted as high as it did. And it is still remembered in the zeitgeist today. I'm talking about Stacy's Mum.
Stacy's mom has got it going on. 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 Stacy, can I come over after school? After school, we can hang around by the pool.
Again, this was another one that I really struggled with as does this count as a one-hit wonder? And I think it does, because I think the general population, if you're a big fan of a show like Scrubs, you might be able to name one or two more, but I think most people would not be able to name more than that song. So to me, it counts, and I love that song. I love Fountains of Wayne. That's my number 10.
The only thing that could have pissed me off more than you picking something in my 10...
Was that in your 10?
No. But I was going to say it was my number 10 and then describe them as having only one song that anyone would ever know, the very definition of a one, just to annoy you, and then go, psych, it's not. Because we've actually talked on I think it was on the Patreon show, but we did talk when you asked if I knew them, and I said, I know one song, and you got so offended that I hate it when everyone calls them one-hit wonders. I was like, yes, that's so going to be my number 10.
And, they have, 5 or 6 albums, and they did have other songs that kind of, I don't know if they had any that charted, but they have had songs that have played quite prominently in film and television shows.
Oh, they scream. I can't recall them being on Scrubs, but I take your word. They scream the sort of band that would have appeared multiple times in Scrubs. It's sort of a thing.
Yeah. And so I love them, but I did wrestle a little bit with whether that counts as a one-hit wonder. But you're my proof right there.
I can't believe that you're the one that included them, and it was going to be my giant prank to piss you off. It's ruined the whole show for me. Now I'll bring Ayla on later, and she can tell you. We were talking about this in the car. We planned the whole thing out, and it's all fucking ruined.
All right. Well, over to your number 10 then, mate.
All righty. See, now I've got to work out whether I juggle the order around or... I don't know. All right. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention.
Okay.
Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flows like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yeah, I don't know. Turn off the lights, I'll glow.
I feel like this is a bit... I feel like it's not leading up to the song.
A mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance go rush the speaker, the booms. I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Daily when I play dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it. You better gangway. You better hit the bullseye. Kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out my hook. As the DJ revolves it.
Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights, and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance, rush the speaker that booms. I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a...
That is a great call. This was in my big short list, but it didn't make it to my top 30 that I've settled on at the moment. But that's a great call. Great track.
Yeah. I feel poor old Vanilla Ice. I mean, copped a lot for the whole Bowie thing, but I'll die on the hill that that's one of the best written rap songs in history.
Oh, yeah. You know,
the lyrics are fucking tight.
The really interesting thing about Vanilla Ice is that, you know, there are some of these artists, right, with one-hit wonders where you say the name of the song and people know the song, but they don't know the name of the band. Vanilla Ice somehow overcame that. And possibly it's because the name of the song is Ice Ice Baby, but I feel like he somehow overcame that. And you can say Vanilla Ice and people know Vanilla Ice, even though that's his only hit.
Yeah, and I mean, literally is. I mean, I don't care if he had 4 other albums. I'm pretty sure he probably didn't. I think he just went and started flipping houses. But this is the only song that 99.9995% of the population would ever know. Yeah.
All right, on to my number 9, and I'm going to hit you with another one exactly like that. And like I said, I think that this is the kind of one-hit wonder where most people would not know the name of the band. And I'm going to go a step further and say I don't think most people would know the actual name of the song, even though it was a huge hit, charted really big in the 90s. If I say to you the words, "She likes me for me,"
and she don't care about my money. And that's real good.
bringing back some memories of the 90s for you.
Yeah, a little bit.
If I did, it wouldn't mean nothing. She likes me for me, not because I look like Tyson Beckford with the charm of Robert Redford oozing out my ears. What she sees, I'm like balls and indecisions, my insecure conditions, and the tears of run below that I shed. She don't care.
Love that song. Takes
No
me right
idea
back.
who that's by. It sounds super familiar. Fucking don't know it.
It's by a band called Blessed Union of Souls, which I don't
Never heard of
think.
them.
No, and the song is actually not called "She Likes Me for Me." It's called "Hey Leonardo." Then in parentheses, "She likes me for me." But
there were definitely lines in that were familiar.
yeah, I said, it's
I
probably
don't know
stretching
it.
your mind back a bit. It was one of those real 90s numbers.
Oh, did you find, by the way, when you were going through this, 80s and 90s were fucking big for one-hit wonders.
They're ripe for it.
I reckon 80% of my list of 111
same.
is 80s and 90s songs.
Yeah, I think I only have a few that are from more recent than that. Most of mine are 80s, and then
because I think prior to that, anything that was a one-hit wonder, with a few exceptions. I do have some older ones on my short list, but they're generally forgotten by now unless they were amazing.
Yeah.
Whereas if the bands were good enough in say the 1970s, they had other hits.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Whereas 80s was MTV hit. If you had a funky
I think
video,
that was the thing. Yes,
you could have a hit.
Yes.
A lot of novelty songs coming out, and same in the 90s. But then once you hit the 2000s and internet starts to pick up a bit,
yeah,
any schlup with one song, hello Rebecca Black, can have another song just as easily, and then you get your Justin Biebers and things.
That's true. Actually, I didn't think about like viral videos, but you're right. Like whether you count Friday as a one-hit wonder, I don't know if it ever actually got like radio airplay or anything, and yet it probably does count because everyone in the world knew that song. But
it counts, but it's fucking awful.
I didn't think of stuff like that. All right, over to you for your number 9, mate.
Okay. See, now I don't know what to do. I play one of my trump cards, or do I risk that you? Oh. I fucking hate this. All right, I'm going with no preamble. It's Gautier featuring Kimbra, somebody that I used to know.
Right. Okay. I did consider this, but I didn't. I in the end, I decided it wasn't a one-hit wonder, and to be honest, I don't know why. Because
why?
I don't think I could name another Gautier song.
and look, before we get at it all over the fucking internet, this is a very personal sort of thing.
Oh, it is.
I'm sure there are going to be fans of all 20 songs that we put out there who get really fucking tetchy. But, but what about the B-side, the fucking whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know it, but we love the songs that we're putting in this list enough, so don't hate us because we love these people. And I welcome comments online to give me other stuff by them to listen to.
I think that's the thing. That's my problem. Even though I can't name any other songs, I knew that I knew of Gautier before this song hit big.
Oh, see,
I think it's just because I was around like the folk circles.
I think I've heard Kimbra. I think I've heard Kimbra do stuff.
Yeah,
but him, no.
Resignation to the end, always the end. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we would still be friends. But I'll admit that I was glad it was over.
I remember that song was everywhere. That was
and one of the best videos of the last 30 years.
Honestly,
we should have queued it up. We should have queued this one up later so that we got Kimbra going. So yes,
as far as more recent one-hit wonders go, that's a good call because, like you said, after the 90s, I don't feel like there were many, but that was everywhere.
I do have one other recent one. Oh no, it's out of my 10. So you only get to hear what it is if you steal some of mine. If you steal 3 of mine, then you'll find out what it is.
Okay. Well, I know where I'm going next. This is another one that I have to have on my list. I'm not sure if you'll have crossover with this one. I suspect that this would have been on your long list.
I did say I've got at least 4 or 5 that I deliberately didn't include that possibly would have made my 10 because I knew that you would have them.
Well, this one I had to take. We're going back to the 80s here. And I have to take this one for personal reasons as well as just it being a fucking great song. When I first met Noosk, when we were bloody 15 years old, one of the first things I said to her was, I'm going to dance to 99 Luftballons with you at our wedding.
You cunt!
And then we did. And I have a framed copy of the album up in my music room there, along with a couple of various Locksmiths albums and stuff.
See, look, like, I can't be too angry if it's that personal.
Was this in your 10?
Fucking number 3.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad I took it now.
Should have done it in
then.
Reverse order.
I love this song. I think it's still one of the best pop songs ever written. You can't hear it and not want to dance. And I
did say to Ayla in the car, I can't leave it out because it's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
But it features so prominently in Scrubs that I kind of have a feeling that Billy's going to...
And I love the fact that, ironically, this song was released in English only in Germany and yet was released in German everywhere else.
I hate the English version. Don't play the English version.
I'm not. Here we go.
Thank you.
Denkst
Wait for the drop. Here we go. Love that song so much. I got to tell you, if we ever get around to cover songs at some point, don't want to show my hand too early, but there's a fucking ripping cover of
Kalita?
this that's gonna. No, Goldfinger.
I will bet you the Kalita cover is better than whatever shit you've got.
Okay, all right. I got to check it out then. All right, there you go. So our first crossover, our first stolen song of the evening.
Yeah.
Over to you for your number 8, mate.
Yeah, well, number 8's not number 8 anymore. Now, do I pull something from below or do I just shuffle them and pull one of my ones from above? See, that's the thing. Ooh. See, I'm pretty sure you're not going to have that. But you might. All right. Let's just put it out there now. These are not in order from 10 to 1. When we put them up for votes, it's just going to be 2 groups of 10. I'm going now with the very first song to ever be shown on the MTV channel.
Ah, right. Yes.
Released in 1979, but yet still spent more time in the charts in 1980 than any other song. It was that fucking big. And that is the Buggles' Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yeah, this is a fantastic song. This is another one that when we get around to covers is going to be a bit of a battle for, I suspect.
Was this on your list?
This was on my list.
Yes.
Lying awake intently tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine on new technology. And now I understand the problems you could see. I met your children. What did you tell them?
Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star.
Pictures came and broke your heart.
That's a great call. Fuck, I love that song.
Just perennial.
Yeah.
And I should say, just for Paul Prezula, video directed by Australia's Russell Mulcahy, he of Highlander and Razorback fame.
There you go. And, of course, one of the most famous videos of all time. Like you said, it was the very first thing that was played on MTV. Just,
Very first, yep.
yeah. All
and,
right.
and so perfect given the topic of the song.
Yeah. That's
literally
fantastic.
was.
All right.
Nice.
I'm going to go to another one of my all-time favorite songs. I adore this song, and I suspect this might be on your list, but I'm not sure. You and I share... You know, there are some styles that we both share. One of them is, you know, we both like a bit of folk. We both like a bit of kind of indie folk and pop in particular. And I'm going with one of the all-time greats here with the Lars There She Goes.
Ah.
I love that riff. Like, it's so simple. It's such a simply written song, but that's the genius of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's no frills here. There's no chorus. It's just verses the whole way through. It's just simple
It's
perfection.
one of the probably 20 to 25 things that make me love So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yes. That song always makes me think of that.
It's-
Yep.
It's in my top 20. It's not in my 10.
Yep. Glad I
But
didn't
one of the
steal
reasons
another
is
one of yours then.
I suspected that you might have it. It's not one of the 5 that I culled.
Yeah.
I was unsure, but I thought, it's one of the ones that's kind of got Billy written all over it.
Well,
So
I'm curious then, because that was my number 7. I've only got 6 picks left, and so far I haven't done any of the 5 that you culled. Maybe they won't be there. You might have culled for no reason.
I will be astonished.
All right, over to you for your number 7.
If I say the phrase, Becky, look at her butt.
Oh, yeah. You're bringing some Mix-a-Lot to the table.
Yeah, I am.
Yes, Baby Got Back. That is a great call. I tell you what, he really is one of those people where not even everyone would be able to say who sings that song.
No.
And another one where
it was
not
so
everyone would be
famous
able to
for
say the
being
name of the song
controversial.
either. Most people probably think it's called I Like Big Butts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of a sidebar here. I know that you and I are both massive Friends fans and R.I.P. Matthew Perry, but every time I hear this song now, it just makes me think of Ross and Rachel singing it to Baby Emma because it's the one thing that makes her laugh.
Other brothers can't deny. Now when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Wanna pull up tough, cause you notice that butt was stuffed. Deep in the jeans she's wearing. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh, baby, I wanna get whipped up and take your picture. My homeboys tried to warn me, but that butt you got makes me so horny. Ooh, rumpa smooth skin.
You say you want to get in my bands? What ills me? Ills me, because you ain't that average groupie. Yeah, great call, man.
Have you ever heard Jonathan Coulton's
I
cover of this?
love Jonathan Coulton. I'm a big fan of him.
It's one of the reasons. I was a religious Glee watcher. I'll defend Glee. It was a fucking great show, but the big issue I have is their refusal to acknowledge who they were actually covering. So if you go through that show, they will always reference the original writer of a song, but they rarely use that version.
Yeah.
So they blatantly use Coulton's version of this to the point where there's legal action. There's he released a cover of a version of his version of this song with him on the front. Because they, even after he sort of pressed the issue, they wouldn't credit him. Yeah. Same with Dancing with Myself, where they used the Nouvelle Vague version and only credit Billy Idol. Horrendous. But yeah, if anyone hasn't heard Joko's version, it's one of the greatest covers of all time. Yeah. If we ever do that.
Joko's an underrated artist. He will definitely pop up on this show at some point. There's already some kind of like top 10s I've thought of that I'm like, yeah, Joko will sneak on there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But top 10 creepy doll songs.
All right. We are over to my number 6, and I got to be honest, this is probably one of the ones that you culled knowing it would be on my list, because I know that you know how much I love this song, and it's Deep Blue Something's Breakfast at Tiffany's.
You'll say we've got nothing in common, no common ground to start from, and we're falling apart. You'll say the world has come between us, our lives have come between us, still I know you just don't care. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think I remember the film.
That is such I love that song so much.
It is one of the biggest earworms of that decade.
Yeah. I think I've told this story on the pod before, or maybe it was just on the Patreon series, but I can't hear that song these days and not think about Topher, former co-host of the show, because there have been several like road trips where we've just screamed that at the top of our lungs. I remember
you'd rewritten the lyrics to reference.
And I said, what about breakfast at Kimmings's? He said, I think I've got some meat pies left, if I recall. I don't think we ate them all last night. Yeah, that's a favourite of ours, to just scream out top of our lungs.
So good.
So I couldn't not have this song on here. I love this song, and I think it is the definition of a one-hit wonder.
Oh, completely. Who knows? Fucking Deeply Something. What else have they done? No one knows.
All right, your number 6.
Oh, the best daughter in the world just brought me another beer. All right. one of the funniest film clips of the last probably when did this come out? I'm going to say 30 years. I'm sure it's not older than that. And I am sure our mutual friend Wayne Aruzu is very fond of this singer. He loves a redhead. He loves pale peaches and cream complexion. This woman is so pale, she's almost translucent.
I can't
I'm
think
talking
of who
about
this is.
Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Murder on the Dance
and
Floor.
Murder on the fucking dance floor. Talk about catchy songs.
I mean, that's how you know it's a one-hit wonder. You said the name, and I knew instantly what the song was. I can't think of any other songs this woman has ever done. I don't remember. I remember it being a big hit, the video clip, but I don't remember what it is. I thought she was a brunette.
It's her in a dance competition.
Yeah.
And she's sabotaging every other dancer by cutting their bra straps, tripping them over, but like quite violently. Some of them get seriously injured.
Yeah, right.
And she keeps on, waltzing or whatever. It's great.
If you think you're getting away, I will prove you wrong. I'll take you all the way. Boy, just come along. Hear me when I say, hey. It's murder on the dance floor.
I forgot how catchy that song is, I gotta say.
So good.
I didn't have this.
Great song.
I didn't have this on my shortlist. I haven't thought about this song in a long time, but I feel like I saw you post her name on something recently. Like,
Ooh, don't think so.
nah, maybe
I do find her incredibly attractive, but no, outside of this song, I have and I'm sure there are UK listeners going, "Oh, come on,
Yeah.
SEP, she's fucking everywhere, man." I don't know why all of our UK listeners become Jamaican then, but
The South will rise again, Mon.
all right. No, I only know her through this song. I think I may have seen her on Graham Norton once around the time this came out because it was such a big hit. But this song has never waned for me. I still find it just as catchy as I did then. I think it's a perfect pop song.
Yeah.
I love the attitude in it. It's just so good.
Nice. All right, my number 5. This might be a controversial one, but I also have a feeling that this might be one of the 5 that you culled from your list, knowing I was going to take it. But I wrestled with whether this counts primarily because it's mostly known for being on a film soundtrack. I don't believe it was written for the film, but even just now when I've brought it up to play it on Spotify, what actually comes up is the film soundtrack. And I'm talking about Len's Steal My Sunshine.
Go.
From Go.
I'm going, surely you're not picking Don't You Forget About Me. Simple Minds had lots of other fucking songs.
Yeah, I did consider it, but I took that off.
This was one of the ones I culled. I forgot it was in the Go soundtrack. I just.
I haven't really talked to him, but he looks pretty down. He looks pretty down.
Yeah, well, maybe we should cheer him up then.
What do you suppose we should do?
Well, does he like butter tarts?
I was lying on the grass of Sunday morning of last week, indulging in my self-defeat. My mind was thugged, all laced and bugged, all twisted, wrong and beat. Uncomfortable, 3 feet deep. Now the fuzzy stare from not being there on a confusing morning week. Impair my tribal lunar speak. And of course you can't become if you only say what you would have done. So I missed a million miles of fun. I know it's up for me.
If you steal my sunshine. If you steal my sunshine. I love this song. I'm not going to lie. I included this one mostly just because of how much I love that song. Again, I don't know if it counts as a one-hit wonder, but I mean, name something else Len have done. All right.
It's absolute, and it's the first one I culled because I knew I know how much you love it, and it would have been in my 10, and it's the first one I went, oh, there's no fucking point, he's gonna have it anyway. It's absolutely a one-hit wonder.
Excellent. Okay, cool.
And a super cute lead singer.
All right.
Here with the roller skates and
We are
alrighty.
over to your number 5.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. So I'm missing one because you fucking took Nina. So I might slot one in here rather than having also ran up the top of my list. Not that they're in any sort of order. Blah blah blah. Oh, what are you gonna have? What are you gonna have? Oh, it's like a game of chess. Could have. All right, I'm going to pop this in. This is a left field one.
Okay.
And I know you won't. I'm positive you won't have this, and it probably wasn't going to be in my 10. But because I know it won't get a mention it's not in any of the listener feedback, and it absolutely deserves the airplay. So I'm going to go with Sean Colvin's "Sonny Came Home."
Sonny Came Home. I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with this one.
I think you're just a smidge too young. So this literally is it came and it went. And when it was there, it was the biggest song of the year. It got best song of the year at the MTV Awards in whatever late 90s, early 2000s year it was. The album, A Few Small Repairs, was top of the charts. There were no other singles that I'm aware of. I've never heard of Sean Colvin mentioned ever again.
Yeah.
Sorry, American listeners, if she's had a massive fucking career. But this song fucking slaps.
Sonny came home to her favorite room. Sonny sat down in the kitchen. She opened a book and a box of tools. Sonny came home with a mission. She says days go by, I'm hypnotized. I'm walking.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah.
I close my eyes and fly out of my mind.
Yes, I know this. I had no idea. I mean, that song was... I associate that song with, I want to say, Dawson's Creek.
I want to say that too.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of my also rangs that probably are also associated with that show. It's very much that era. And I'm sure if it's not in that soundtrack, well, fuck, it's close enough to the Paula Cole song and the other one.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's
No,
very
yes,
similar.
I definitely... As soon as it got to the chorus, I was like,
song.
I know this. Yeah. Okay.
And name another Sean Colvin song.
I couldn't.
Oh,
I couldn't name that one 5 minutes ago. All right.
So you go. That's my ringer.
All right. Well, here we are with my top 4, and this is where it gets really, really, really hard because I genuinely love everything that I have on this list, and I probably should have done what you did.
Oh, that's right. You don't have a 4. You have about 16, and you
100%. I probably should have spent more time like you did, like actually ordering them so I could work it that way. But I like to go by
it's
vibe.
a fucking waste of time.
I like to play a little jazz with it. I'm going back to the 80s here. And this has always been a favorite of mine ever since I want to say it's Pretty in Pink that this song is in. Could be 16 Candles. Definitely going back to John Hughes area. And I'm talking Modern English's I Melt With You. One of my all-time favorite songs. I just...
Oh, it's fucking great.
Moving forward, using all my breath. Making love to you was never second best. I saw the world crashing all around your face, never really knowing it was always mesh and lace. I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference,
And it's getting better all the time.
Love it. Love that song so much.
The only reason it's not in my list is that there's actually a cover that I like more.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the cover of that song.
If I can I was going to say if I can find it quickly.
Save
Fuck
it.
We'll edit the breakout.
Save it for when we do top cover songs. Yeah. But shout out to brand new patron of the show, Josh Raglan, who also had that on his, I think it was just his honorable mentions on the Facebook listener community. But yep, I love that song. Always have.
Oh, it's a fucking great song.
All right, over to your number 4, mate.
Right. It's just weird because it means that I think there's, and I didn't write them down, but there must be one that I was sure was going to be on your list that's not.
Okay.
Which is confusing. I wish I'd written them down. Anyway.
Very good chance it's in my short list. I still have about 20 songs left here.
All right, I shoehorned in Sean, so now I'm up to what was my number 6. Not that we're in any particular order. So wait a minute. I've got what? 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 more to give. Is that right?
Yes, that was my number 4. So we're up to your number 4 now. Yep.
Excellent. Well, in that case, I am going all the way back to the 80s to a song that I've always loved, and I'd forgotten completely who sang it or whatever. And then some years ago, in a previous life, when I was still working at Rockstar, and we released the immortal Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and started basically living my entire life in the 80s for about 6 or 8 months while we were releasing that thing. And this song loomed large over that entire marketing campaign and rekindled my love. One of the best songs of the 80s. It's Cutting Crew's Died in Your Arms Tonight.
Yes, that is an excellent call. That was on my short list. So I guess it won't be on my main list now, but yeah, love this song.
Oh.
I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight.
Listen to those 80s drums.
Yeah. That's a great call. That's a really good call right there.
Such a good song.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm happy with the way this playlist is turning out. I think both of our lists so far have been tremendous, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. Oh, you fucking nailed it with that Nina song.
All right, but here we go. Here's the pointy end, because I've only got 3 left, and like I said, I've got 20 songs on my list here left. And I don't know where to go with this, because I genuinely love every song that I have left here.
At least you don't have 111 of the fucking things. I have so little sympathy for you.
All right. I am going to spin it back to the 90s here with a song that I've always loved. I loved in the 90s, or perhaps it was even the early 2000s, actually. But either way, I was a big fan of it then. And I was very happy to see it get kind of a jokey resurgence recently in the film Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it's mentioned several times and plays in the background of several scenes. And I'm talking about absolutely Story of a Girl by 9 Days.
Who cried a river and drowned the whole world. And while she looks so sad in photographs, I absolutely love her when she smiles. How many days in a year she woke up with hope, but she only found tears? And I can be so insincere, making her promises never for real. As long as she stands there waiting, wearing the holes in the soles of her shoes. How many days disappear when you look in the mirror? So how do you choose? Clothes never wear as well the next day. Hair never falls quite the same.
You look like you don't recognize that one.
I don't think I've heard that song before.
Oh, you've definitely heard it. That song was gigantic at the time, mate.
I mean, maybe I have. It certainly wasn't striking any chords.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's so high. Maybe it's just a blind spot in my listening. Yeah,
right.
It sounds familiar, but it sounds familiar in a kind of generic 90s way where it sounds like a number of other songs.
Oh yes,
sort of
yes. Which so many one-hit wonders in the 90s were.
Yeah. I could. Yeah, you didn't need to tell me the decade.
yeah.
It's got that Smash Mouth feel all over it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't specifically recall that song, which is weird.
Right. Okay.
It sounds like something that was a hit, but yeah.
Over to your
Weird.
number 3 then.
All right, number 3, which was number 5. Okay, all right. Okay. Listeners may be familiar with it. There's a very fine YouTube channel called Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Hosted, unsurprisingly, by Justin Hawkins. But younger listeners may not be aware that Justin Hawkins used to be in a band called The Darkness. And The Darkness had a cracking fucking hit called I Believe in a Thing Called
Oh
Love.
yeah, that song was huge. That song was everywhere when it came out.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel. Touching you, touching me, touching you, touching me. I believe in a thing called love, just a thing of my heart.
Yeah, that song was huge. That was huge when it came out. That must have been early 2000s, I want to say.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the time, I think it kind of got written off as a novelty song because it's
Because of the
kind
high-pitched
a-
voice.
Well,
it's very hair
kind of
metal.
it's kind of a parody of hair metal on the
Yeah,
surface.
yeah.
But musically, it's really fucking accomplished.
Yeah.
And he is an amazing singer with a really good voice. And I think they kind of got dismissed as this kind of novelty act because of this one song. But oh god, it's such a good song.
Yeah, yeah. All right, over to my number 2 then. Another favorite of mine. I'm going again back to the 90s with the ska genre. And this is another one that I really wrestled with. Does this count? And I think in the end, it's just that I was a big fan of the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. So I
okay,
know
cool.
more songs
Yeah, yeah.
than just this. But I feel like
no,
this
this is
counts.
fine.
Yep. And
Absolutely
I'm
fine.
of course talking about the impression that I get.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you ever been close to tragedy or been close to folks you have? Have you ever felt the pain so powerful, so heavy you collapse? No, well, I never had to knock on wood, but I know someone who
Love that song so much. And again, I was a
Fucking
massive
good call.
I was a massive fan of the Boss Tones. So in my head I was like, oh, was Rascal King also a big hit, or is that just me? Because
I've got them kind of lumped in with Real Fish as
Yeah,
kind of this
yeah.
band that I feel like they've had heaps of hits, but really there's only fucking one.
yeah.
No,
Massive fan
good
of the Boss
call.
Tones. Love that
Didn't
song.
he? And I'll tell you what I should have had, and I don't, and I'm going to add it to my big master playlist. Do you remember Zoot Suit Riot?
Oh yeah, by the Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Yep, that's the one. Zoot Suit Riot. Throwing back a bottle of beer.
Yeah, that's a great
Why
song.
is that not on
Yeah,
my fucking
I didn't-
talk about-
yeah,
That's a one-hit one.
I didn't
That's
think of
going
that.
on.
Yep, that's
Going
a
on
great
the
one.
master list.
All right.
No, good call
onto your
with-
number
yeah.
2, my friend.
All right. So, I mean, we've only had one crossover. I don't think this is a crossover. I'm nervous about my number 1. Not
Okay.
that they're in any particular order. All right. So this is a song that I don't actually remember being released.
Okay.
I first came across it in a Martin Lawrence film of all things. The only good Martin Lawrence film. Sorry, fans of fucking Bad Boys. The only good Martin Lawrence film, which is a film with Tim Robbins. Some name's escaping me now, but it's fine, whatever. You'll find it. And this song plays over the funniest scene in the movie, which I'm not going to spoil. I'll refresh my memory on the name of the fucking film. It's a bit of a nothing comedy. I'll put it in the fucking listener community. # join now. But it is a song by Scatman John called Scatman.
I do remember this song being released.
Every cunt on the planet knows this fucking song.
Yeah. I definitely recall this song. This was huge.
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat
Yeah. No, that's a good call. You could also replace that with Blue by Eiffel 65 in the same kind of category.
Speaking of things I ruled out, they had another fucking single that followed that, which is absolute shit, but it charted its ass off because Blue was so good.
Straight from the Top of My Dome? Was that their other song?
No!
Who was that?
No, that's oh my God.
Rockin' microphone, B-boys, fly girls. What is that?
Speaking of things that should be in my fucking top. No, oh my God. Fuck.
Dave is throwing his head in his hands, listeners. What's going on, mate? What have you remembered?
No. Oh no, that's a fucking, what do they call it? That's a Finnish band, and yes, absolutely one hit wonder. Shit. But no, Eiffel 65 had another song on the same album as Blue, which I conflated the two of them because they both had film clips with the animated aliens.
Yeah.
And it told a continuous story. That whole album did. So, otherwise that Blue would 100% have been in my top 10. Fuck.
All right. Well, here we are at my number 1, and I've really fucked myself by not ordering these because I've used all...
So your number 1 is just random song number 5.
Well, I do have Mambo number 5 on my list, and I'm considering it.
Don't you dare.
I'm a bit torn here because I like all the songs from this point, but I definitely feel like I have used the best ones. So the question is,
do you want to borrow one of mine? I've got heaps of good ones left.
Nah. I'll do something. I'll work something out with this.
Play some jazz with it. Come on.
All right. Look, you know what? I don't think either of us have had a song from the 70s, have we? We spoke about, how most
technically Video Killed the Radio Star was about October 79, but no.
Well, I'm going all the way back to the 70s, my friend, with a band called Plastic Bertrand.
Oh!
With
Keep going. We'll talk after.
Okay, was this on your list?
This was my number 1.
Oh!
No.
Bam bam, mon chat se place, j'ai sur mon lit à bouffer sa langue en buvant trop mon whisky. Quant à moi, peu dormi, vie débris, mais j'ai dû dormir dans la gouttière où j'ai eu un flash.
Ça plaint pour rien. Look, I've probably lost the vote there because I don't know how many other people love that song like I do, and clearly you do, but that's a fucking banger song. I remember first hearing that song several years ago in a French film. Noosk and I saw it at the French Film Festival. And it was like a really dry, sarcastic comedy, but that song played throughout like the entire thing. That and Driving Along in My Automobile. Like those two songs were like the theme song. And love this song. I just think it's so much fun.
It was very high in my shortlist right from the outset because it's absolutely a one hit. Plastic Bertrand did fuck all else that was of note, particularly globally, but even within France. The thing that's kind of soured me on it over the years is that he didn't sing it.
Right.
There was a whole court case where the guy who... I'm going to blank on his name now. It's a French-sounding name. If that helps. But the guy who wrote it and also sang the vocals isn't credited. Right. Plastic Bertrand, whatever his name, I blanked on his name as well. He went on and he's had a long career in music doing his own stuff. But his first 4 albums that credited to him, he didn't fucking sing them. This other guy did. Okay. But it's a good call. It was my number 1 until I went Googling and went, oh, that's a little bit distasteful. I don't know if I want to put it. I don't know if I want to give Plastic Bertrand any credit.
All right.
I love that song.
So there you go.
I've loved it.
Almost
I'm old enough to remember it being a hit. I didn't need to find it in a movie.
Well, there you go. Almost crossover, but so realistically, we only had the one crossover then. So here we are at your number one, my friend. What are you going to hit us with?
Weirdly is also mostly famous for being in the closing scene of a movie. That movie being Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I'm talking about Oh Yeah by Yellow.
I didn't even consider this, but fuck, that's a great call. This is, I mean, the soundtrack to Ferris Bueller's Day Off is fucking one of the all-time greats. Like, I don't think it's spoken enough about in terms of brilliant soundtracks. You got the Smiths.
Oh, yeah.
Like, geez, that's a good soundtrack. But yes,
even the Wayne Newton song from the shower scene.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I guess I wouldn't have thought of this because I associate it so much with the movie that I forget if this was a hit on its own merit or not. But yeah, here we go. Good stuff. Oh, that's good stuff. All right. Well, this was a journey. This was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that we only had the one crossover. There you go. That's a full playlist of 20 tracks for you people of One Hit Wonders.
Oh yeah.
Plus, Dave's got his 7-hour bloody mammoth effort.
I will put that up as a separate thing for those that want to go and see what else was in the consideration. It's a good list. Put it on shuffle, but
run us through just some of your honorable mentions, mate. Not all 100, but maybe give us 10.
I won't look at that list. I'll just I'll quickly rip through the ones that were in consideration in case you had all of my top 10 in your list.
Yeah.
Bop by Hanson.
yeah.
Biggest earworm in history. Another one which is in sort of the YouTube era, Gangnam Style.
Ah, yeah, Psy.
Which, speaking of I'm sorry, K-pop fans, but speaking of one-hit wonders that went off the charts.
Yeah.
Personal massive favorite, Push the Button by the Sugar Babes.
Yeah.
The Israelites by Desmond Decker. Play that funky music.
Of course, yep.
Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus.
That was also on my list right here. I nearly pulled that.
What else? Oh, stuff like Pomla. The Final Countdown by Europe.
Yep.
Was in there.
Yep, that makes sense.
Iran, Flock of Seagulls. In the Year 2525 by Zager and Evans.
Yep.
The Breakup Song by Greg Kine, which I think I left that out because we kind of spoke about it briefly in the television episode on Patreon. But
yeah.
And the only other one in my top 20 or whatever it is, Right on Time by Black Box.
Yeah, nice. Well, as mentioned, I still have about 20 in my list here that I nearly pulled from, including
reel them off.
Mambo Number 5, Lou Bega, Jump Around, House of Pain, Cotton Eye Joe by Rednecks was very nearly pulled by me.
Good call.
I nearly had that. The Macarena. I mean, I don't think you can get more of a one-hit wonder than that. I very nearly considered Song 2 by Blur. And then former co-host Topher yelled at me saying that is not a one-hit wonder. Well,
thank you, Topher.
Look, but here's the thing.
Terrible goal.
No, because here's the thing. I love Blur. Like the same reason that I struggled with,
I get where you go. I know where
I
you're
didn't
going to go.
think that the rest of the population knew more of Blur, but
I think they know Park Life.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Two Princes, Spin Doctors. Tainted Love, Soft Cell, Safety Dance, Many Hats.
I ruled that out because Mark Arman's had other stuff outside Soft Cell.
And the other one that I very nearly had very high on my list was Heat of the Moment by Asia. Big fan of that song. So, all right. Over to the listener community. Not too many comments this week, but the previously mentioned Josh Raglan, brand new patron of the show. Thank you, Josh. He had 3 Stuck in the Middle with You, Steelers Wheel. That's a great call. Groove is in the Heart by D Light and Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Fuck off! off.
No, that's
No.
great. I nearly had it. The only reason I didn't
No.
is because I
No,
had
you
that
didn't.
several
Because
weeks ago.
Jackie Wilson said was a fucking big charting hit off that album. I'm sorry, Josh. I love you, man. You're a phenomenal human, but Dexy's Midnight Runners had more than one hit. And I deeply, at least no one said fucking Take On Me. I was all set to get on my soapbox for about 4 hours if anyone had Take On Me as a one-hit wonder.
Previously mentioned Dev Larkin. He had way too many to.
I'll just read off three. I've trimmed him down to 3.
I'll just read off 3. Boston, More Than a Feeling.
No, stop. No, that's why I picked 3, because that's not a Dev. I've already told you. Boston's first album has multiple hits. That's a fucking terrible call. Look, Come Up and See Me by Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel, good call.
Okay.
Anything by Dramarama, good call. Drinking in LA by Brand Van 3000, good call. Some of the other stuff, not so much.
My very favourite comment of the week was our great friend Paul Prezula from The Countdown, who said, only did this topic 6 months ago.
I was going to leave him out.
Let's test the memory banks. Blue Monday by Orgy, Dead Souls by 9 Inch Nails, and The Man Who Sold the World by Nirvana, to which both you and I were like, one-hit wonders? He read the post wrong and had gone with best cover versions, which I loved.
I wasn't going to embarrass him.
Nah, that was fantastic. Nice work, Paul. Thank you for your contribution. We really, really appreciate it. But if you would like to contribute your thoughts on future topics, including, we've started asking for, feedback on even the movie reviews and stuff. Last week we read out the people's favourite Scorsese films, which was a bit of fun. So if you'd like to contribute, please join the new Facebook listener community. We'll put the link in the show notes, or you can just search for We Watch the Thing everywhere. Next week, mate, speaking of movies coming out, we got The Marvels.
Yes!
Yeah.
So keen.
Did you watch Miss Marvel? Because I did not.
It is in the top 2 or 3 of the Marvel TV shows for me. And I think the Marvel TV shows for Phase 4 far outstrip the movies. The movies have been mediocre as shit. The TV shows, by and large, have been very good.
Okay.
I was a big fan of Hawkeye, big fan of Miss Marvel, big fan of Moon Knight, although not many people were. I think she is wonderful as Kamala Khan. I think she's a big asset to this universe. And I'm proudly on record saying that Captain Marvel is one of the best Marvel films.
I like Captain Marvel a lot. I haven't watched any of the shows.
Love Brie Larson.
Yep. Same.
I mean, Monica Rambeau, not as a character, don't really care. She was sort of the least interesting part of WandaVision. So, not so fussed there. But overall, and the trailer looks great. I'm hopeful that this is going to be a return to form for the MCU in the cinemas. Well,
there you go. That's what we're getting to next week. In the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at wewatchthething.com or wewatchthething@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, all under the handle @wewatchthething. If you want to help support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/wewatchthething and get access to our bonus series where we're going through perfect albums. We've got another one to record tonight, which is going to be very interesting.
I'm already nervous, you cunt.
And we'll catch you next week.
And if I can leave you with one thought, it's this. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.